So, meine Freunde, es geht weiter mit Let's Play Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater. Ja, im letzten Part haben wir Shaggohod mit Volgin besiegt. Und jetzt müssen wir so machen, dass wir jetzt mit Iva hier rauskommen. Denn im letzten Part hatten wir einen kleinen Unfall, sozusagen. Aber sei es drum. Iva, los. Wir müssen hier raus, bevor wir noch hier Probleme kriegen. Ich bin mir sicher, das haben die mitbekommen, dass hier jetzt etwas explodiert ist. Kann sein, kann auch nicht sein, ist egal. Ich weiß, Iva, du bist zwar verletzt, aber komm, wir schaffen das. Oh, da ist noch eine weitere Schlange. Die kann ich gut gebrauchen, damit ich die Ausdauer hier auffüllen kann. Weil, wie ich das auch schon bemerkt habe, die Ausdauer von Iva geht richtig schnell runter als bei mir. Oh oh. Wo ich noch gesagt habe, dass die das nicht bemerken oder vielleicht doch bemerken. Anscheinend haben sie es bemerkt. Ich würde jetzt sehr ungern hier jetzt eine Schießerei anfangen. Ah, da ist es. Okay, wir müssen jetzt also nach links und dann nach unten. Und dann wieder links. Okay. Also in diese Richtung. Komm schon, Iva, beeil dich. Die sind hinter uns. Das sind die schon. Ja, komm. Gib ein bisschen Tempo. Wir sind ja bald da.
I'm so hungry.
Ernsthaft, komm. Ne, okay, ich muss in der Nähe bleiben. Warte, ich gebe dir etwas.
Let me have some more.
Nee, wir sparen das für später. Komm. So, dann müssen wir hier abbiegen, so wie ich das bei der Karte da verstanden habe. Nein, da ist niemand drin. Iva, geh in Deckung.
It's the enemy. Leave this to me.
Das war wohl nicht sehr klug von mir. Iva, lass diese ganze Schießerei, das brauchen wir nicht. Ich hab bald eine Munition, ich hab 12 Kugeln. Gibt es irgendetwas, was ich brauche? Nee, anscheinend nicht. Was jetzt?
Snake, the lake is just over that cliff. Eva should be able to climb it if you help her. Keep her close to you.
Verstanden. Iva, komm schon. So. Machen wir diesmal einen Schalldämpfer. Nein, du hast mich nicht gesehen. So, jetzt ist der Schalldämpfer weg. Aber gut, dass ich noch bei der Betäubungspistole noch was habe. Versuchen wir das mal. Sehr schön. Munition kann ich gut gebrauchen. Was mit dem hier? Granaten? Oh, hier ist nicht. Warte, ich gebe dir was zu essen. Hier.
This tastes like crap.
Ach komm, hör auf. So schlimm schmeckt das auch nicht. Wie gesagt, ich habe das selber einmal probiert. Es schmeckt nicht so scheiße, wie die das sagen. Ist eigentlich ganz angenehm. Da hat sich einer schön hier verdeckt, was? Ja, dachtest du, ich hätte dich hier nicht gesehen? Noch einer. Nein, hier ist niemand. Oh, noch zwei. Und du auch. Sehr schön. Okay, alle drei pennen hier. Wir können weiter. Noch einer? Verdammt, den habe ich übersehen. Lass die, Iva, lass die. Komm, wir sind fast da.
Come on, Snake. We made it.
We made it.
Over there. It's the boss, isn't it? I'll go get the wig ready to take off.
Right.
I'll leave you two alone. But come back in one piece, okay? Promise me!
Life's end. Isn't it beautiful? It's almost tragic. When life ends, it gives off a final lingering aroma. Light is but a farewell gift from the darkness to those on their way to die. I've been waiting, Snake, for a long time. Waiting for your birth, your growth, and the finality of today.
Boss. Why are you doing this?
Why? To make the world one again. The world used to be whole. But with the end of the Second World War, the philosophers began to fight amongst themselves, and the world was torn apart. The Cobras, my comrades who trained and fought alongside me, were torn apart as well. The foibles of politics and the march of time can turn friends into enemies just as easily as the wind changes. Ridiculous, isn't it? Yesterday's ally becomes today's opposition. And this Cold War? Think back. When I was leading the Cobras, America and Russia were fighting together. Now, consider whether America and Russia will still be enemies in the 21st century. Somehow I doubt it. Enemies change along with the times, the flow of the ages, and we soldiers are forced to play along. I didn't raise you and shape you into the man you are today just so we could face each other in battle. A soldier's skills aren't meant to be used to hurt friends. So then what is an enemy? Is there such a thing as an absolute timeless enemy? There is no such thing, and never has been. And the reason is that our enemies are human beings like us. They can only be our enemies in relative terms. The world must be made whole again. The philosophers must be reunited. I will devote my skills to that purpose. And with the Colonel's money, I will achieve that end. Just as I once created the Cobras. They are my family. I may no longer be able to bear children, but I still have a family. It was November 1st, 1951. I was in the Nevada desert participating in atomic testing. The name Nevada is derived from Spanish, covered in snow, white as snow. And snow is exactly what I saw in that Nevada desert. It froze my blood white. Snake, you were an atomic test subject, weren't you? On Bikini Atoll. That's part of the reason I was drawn to you. You and I are alike. We're both slowly being eaten away by the karma of others. We'll never have the chance to die peacefully of old age. We have no tomorrow. But we can still have hope for the future. In 1960, I saw a vision of the ideal future from space. 3 years earlier, the Soviet Union had succeeded in launching Sputnik, the first man-made satellite in history, into orbit. This came as a huge shock to the United States. In response, America threw everything it had into its own manned spaceflight project, the Mercury program. Even as the Soviets seemed poised to send their first man into space, America was still experimenting with chimpanzees and rockets. The government wanted human data. So they secretly decided to send a human being into space. I was the one they chose. At the time, they didn't have the technology to block out cosmic rays, and whoever they sent up would inevitably be exposed to heavy radiation. That's why they chose me. After all, I'd already been irradiated once. Of course, you won't find any of this in the history books. I could see the planet as it appeared from space. That's when it finally hit me. Space exploration is nothing but another game in the power struggle between the US and the USSR. Politics, economics, the arms race, they're all just arenas for meaningless competition. I'm sure you can see that, but the Earth itself has no boundaries. No East, no West, no Cold War. And the irony of it is, the United States and the Soviet Union are spending billions on their space programs and the missile race, only to arrive at the same conclusion. In the 21st century, everyone will be able to see that we are all just inhabitants of a little celestial body called Earth. A world without communism or capitalism, that is the world I wanted to see. But reality continued to betray me. In 1961, I was sent to Cuba, to Bahia de Cochinos. It was part of a CIA-sponsored invasion under the guise of taking Cuban exiles back to their country. But the US government betrayed them. Our weak-kneed president held back their air support. Defenseless, the exiles were annihilated by the Cuban army. All I could do was watch in silence. I was set up by the very country I'd sacrificed so much for, by the very government I dedicated my life to defending. I was driven from the surface world, and I went underground. Then, 2 years ago, I faced the sorrow, my old comrade in battle. He was my friend. But one of us had to die. I was left with no choice. The sorrow gave his life for me. There is no enmity between us. One must live, and one must die. That was the mission. The ones who gave me that mission were the philosophers. Early in the 20th century, the true holders of power in the United States, the Republic of China, and the newly formed Soviet Union gathered together in a secret meeting that would later be known as the Wise Men's Committee. The secret pact they formed there marked the beginning of the philosophers. But the last of the original members died in the 1930s. After that, the organization began to run out of control, and the Wise Men's Committee degenerated into a mere shell of its former self. The philosophers of today have no sense of good or evil. Their influence extends to countries and organizations involved in every aspect of every war. They have become war itself. That's how they operate. The sacrifices of war cause a shift in the times. This shift leads to renewed conflict, and in turn triggers the next war. Like a nuclear chain reaction, each conflict sparks countless others, forming an endless spiral that will continue on for eternity. Do you understand what I'm saying, Snake? By consuming me and you, the philosophers intend to keep that cycle going forever. It was my father who explained all of this to me. He was one of them. You see, I am the last remaining child of the philosophers. But after he revealed the truth, my father was killed by that same shapeless, formless organization. And my father isn't the only thing the philosophers have taken from me. In June of 1944, the Cobras and I took part in the landing at Normandy. We'd been given a top-secret mission to locate and destroy enemy V-2 rocket installations. I was pregnant at the time. The sorrow was the father. I gave birth on the field of battle. A beautiful baby boy. But my child was snatched away from me by the philosophers. Look at this scar. This is proof that I was once a mother. I gave up my body and my child for my country. There is nothing left inside me now. Nothing at all. No hatred, not even regret. And yet sometimes at night, I can still feel the pain creeping up inside me, slithering through my body like a snake. I've never talked this much about myself before. Thanks. Thanks for listening to me. I feel content. Snake, commence the operation. I raised you. I loved you. I've given you weapons, taught you techniques, endowed you with knowledge. There is nothing more for me to give you. All that's left for you to take is my life, by your own hand. One must die, and one must live. No victory, no defeat. The survivor will carry on the fight. It is our destiny. The one who survives will inherit the title of boss. And the one who inherits the title of boss will face an existence of endless battle. I'll give you 10 minutes. In 10 minutes, MiGs will come and bomb the hell out of this place. If you can beat me in less than 10 minutes, you'll be able to escape in time. Let's make this the greatest 10 minutes of our lives, Jack.
Boss?
You're a soldier. Finish your mission. Prove your loyalty. Face me.
Oh Mann.
Let's see
Jetzt
what you're
müssen wir
made
The
of.
Boss jetzt besiegen. Ach du meine Güte. Snake gegen seinen eigenen Mentor. The Boss. Oh meine Güte. Das wird schwer, das wird schwer. Ich habe 10 Minuten Zeit, um ihn zu besiegen. Ansonsten fliegen gleich die MiGs hier rein und machen uns dann hier mit Bomben komplett fertig. Das wird nicht leicht. Aber ich versuche es. Hoffentlich schaffe ich es auch mit dem ersten Versuch. Nicht, dass ich das jetzt noch weiter mit 3 oder 4 Versuchen das machen muss. Hoffentlich.
Time to play rough.
Okay, die Pistole kann ich schon sofort vergessen. Bringt nichts.
You'd better run.
Wo ist sie? Wörter. Wenn die Pistole nicht funktioniert, dann mache ich das mit der SWD.
Where did you go?
Komm schon, wo bist du? Na, da ist sie. Schöner Headshot. Nice. Damit habe ich sie jetzt komplett verärgert. Verstecken, angreifen, verstecken, angreifen. So muss ich das jetzt mal machen. Ansonsten werde ich hier einfach nur Munition verschwenden und dann kann ich die überhaupt nicht mehr besiegen. Headshot. So, jetzt schnell verstecken. Schlange oder was?
Where are you hiding?
Snake. Ah, das ist Snake Solid. Okay.
Where did you go?
Komischer Name für eine Schlange. Snake Solid. Ich nehme mal was anderes. Das nehme ich raus, TNT nehme ich raus, das wird so oder so nicht helfen. Mosin. Ich möchte mal mit dem Mosin jetzt mal versuchen. Es wird zwar schwer sein, weil das ist eine Einzelschusswaffe. Das heißt, nach jedem Schuss muss sie geladen werden. Das ist nicht die SWD, die Halbautomatik besitzt. Verdammt.
Brace yourself.
Nein, nein, lass mich in Ruhe.
Time to play rough. All these years and still nothing to show for it.
Ja, warte ab.
Move or you're dead.
Ich wärme mich gerade nur auf.
Where are you?
Nee, die 5
5
Minuten.
There you are.
Oh Mann.
Brace
Ich weiß nicht,
yourself.
ob ich hier das schaffe, Leute. Ich hab doch 5 Minuten Zeit.
Heads up, Snake.
Ja, allein mit Schlägen wird es schon über, weiß ich nicht, 20.000 Jahre dauern, bis ich hier fertig bin. Da muss ich mal wohl das mit SWD machen. Mit Mosin wird das richtig lange dauern. Ach, verdammt. Da ist sie. Komm schon. Oh Mann. Beinahe noch einen weiteren Exemplar verpasst. Ja, schön für dich. Ich hätte dich auch gefunden.
Get ready.
Oh, okay, das hat geklappt. Ich habe gerade auf 4 gedrückt und dann hat er es drauf, hat er geschafft, jetzt die zu blocken. Nicht schlecht. 3 Minuten. Das. Leute, ich weiß nicht, ob ich das schaffe in 3 Minuten. Schaut euch mal, wie viel sie noch Leben übrig hat. Ach, was soll's. Wenn ich das jetzt vergeige, dann mache ich den zweiten Versuch. Sehr schön.
You've gotten stronger. Get ready. Heads up, Snake.
Ah, warte. Nee, okay, die hat mich entdeckt. Ich kann die jetzt hier nicht verletzen. Ah, nee, doch. Okay. Weil ich dachte, wenn sie auf mich schießt und mich entdeckt hat, dann kann ich sie nicht verletzen. Aber wenn sie auf mich zurennt, dann kann ich sie verletzen. Alles klar. Oh. Mensch. Komm nur her. Noch eine Minute. Schon ein bisschen. Jawohl! Boah, in den letzten Sekunden. Mann, war das knapp.
Take this. Keep it safe. It's our only hope.
A patriot? Why are you giving me this?
Jack. Or should I say, Snake? You're a wonderful man. Kill me. Kill me now. Do it. There's only room for one boss and one snake.
ready to go, Snake? Are you okay? Snake?
Yeah.
I told you you could trust me.
Nicht der schon wieder.
Ocelot!
We're not done yet.
Snake, try to remember some of the basics of CQC.
Not good!
I picked up a few new moves. Huh. It doesn't feel right to shoot an unarmed man. But I'll get over it.
Eva!
What do you say to one last showdown?
Yeah, all right.
What's your name?
Snake.
No. Not that name. You're not a snake, and I'm not an ocelot. We're men with names. My name is Adamska. What's yours?
John.
Very well, John. Plain name. But I won't forget it. Come on!
Der will also russisches Duell spielen. Ich meine, russisches Roulette. Miste, arbeitende Gäste, in Maus.
Pick one up
du
already.
Bist.
Pick
Ich
one!
nehm links, ist mir scheißegal. Ich wette, er hat den geladenen Revolver. Also ich meine Ocelot. Ich bin mir sicher, er hat ihn. Er hat uns bestimmt ausgenutzt. Ja, mein Revolver ist alle. Wo?
It's a blank. That was fun. Till we meet again, John.
Ich habe es einfach durch Zufall gewählt und auf einmal habe ich doch den geladenen Revolver gezogen. Was ist jetzt los?
Give me a hand! Whoa! Pull off! We made it.
Yeah, we sure did.
Oh no, Migs! There's no way out! What are we gonna do?
We've come too far to let them stop us now. Those things have got to be armed.
It's no use. There's no way we can outmaneuver them. They're gonna shoot us down. We were so close.
Weapon systems on.
Locked on target. I got towed.
You were great, Eva.
Huh?
Thanks.
Bulk 19, this is Control. Stand by for a direct order from the chairman. Bulk 19, return to base immediately. Do you read me? This is a direct order from Comrade Khrushchev. Return to base immediately. Bulk 19, do you copy? Understood. Aborting mission. RTB.
Look! The MiGs are turning back! Woo!
Well done, Snake.
The MiGs disengaged.
Most likely under orders from Khrushchev.
Is this his way of helping us?
Who knows? Maybe he didn't want things to get messier than they already are. Or maybe he just wanted us to owe him one. The important thing is, you made it out alive. As long as Khrushchev is with us, I don't think they'll be coming after you. It should be smooth sailing all the way to Alaska. I'm sending someone out to Galena Base to meet you.
To meet me?
The DCI and the President himself are waiting at Langley. Don't keep them waiting.
Ja, ich würde mal sagen, wir haben es jetzt geschafft. Und ich dachte schon, die Mixer werden uns jetzt gleich hier vernichten und dann wäre das Ganze jetzt vollkommen im Eimer, aber wir haben Glück. Khrushchev hat das Ganze jetzt zurückgetreten und uns seine Hilfe erwiesen. Dankeschön.
So what are you going to do now? Go back to the KGB?
What do you want me to do?
Did you ever think about coming back to America?
I can't go back. I've left America behind me.
But you saved this country.
I didn't do it alone.
And I still owe you a dinner.
Is that part of your mission too? Or is it an order? Or is it an invitation? Or a proposal? I don't take orders from anyone now.
Not the only one afraid
Scholars tell us that the first spy in history was the snake in the book of Genesis. In that story, it was Eve who was tempted by the snake in the Garden of Eden. But this time around, it was I who tempted the snake and got away with the forbidden fruit of knowledge. Forgive me, snake.
Good morning, Snake. I hope you slept well. First of all,
I have to apologize. I wasn't sent by Khrushchev. I'm not a KGB spy, and I never worked for the NSA.
I'm an agent of the People's Republic of China for the General HQ 2nd Department of the People's Liberation Army. It was all a lie. I tricked you. And I'm sorry.
The philosophers still exist in China, too. You see, my mission was to find out where Volgin was hiding the philosopher's legacy and steal it. So I infiltrated his base as a KGB spy. The two NSA codebreakers who defected in 1960 were actually both men. The real Adam never showed up at the meeting place, saving me the trouble of having to eliminate him. I sneaked in by pretending I was Eva. And you and Sokolov and Volgin, you all believed me. The philosopher's legacy was originally held in common between the US, Soviet Union, and China. We couldn't let the Russians and the Americans take it all for themselves. The Chinese government had its eye on the legacy too. I got the film containing the legacy, and also the nuclear missile launch data from the Shagohod. 5 years ago, the Soviet Union stopped supplying us with nuclear weapons technology. Since then, China's Liandon easing, hydrogen bomb, and space rocket projects have fallen behind. But with this data, our country will be able to develop its own nukes. We'll create a deterrent force to rival those of the US and Soviet Union. Everything has gone according to plan, thanks to your help. I too am one of the philosophers. I'm an agent of the philosophers, a graduate of one of their charm schools. I was raised in a joint US-Soviet-Chinese facility to become a sleeper agent. This was before the war. Back then, they were collecting children from all over the world. As a result, I'm indistinguishable from a native-born American. So it didn't surprise me when you and Volgin couldn't tell the difference. But she knew right from the beginning. She knew because before the war, she was at one of the philosopher's schools too, as an instructor. The boss was the only one I couldn't fool. She was the only one who knew I was a fake. She told me everything. Why did she open her heart to me like that? At the time, I couldn't understand it. But now, I think I do. Snake. She wanted you to know the truth. She chose me to tell you. That's why she saved my life. I've lied to you so many times, but not this time. My orders from the government were to obtain the legacy and to eliminate everyone who knew the truth about what happened. In other words, I'm supposed to kill you. do it. Not because we loved each other. And not because you saved my life. But because I made a promise to the boss. And I intend to keep it. I just wanted you to know. And you have to live. Snake, listen to me. She didn't betray the United States. No. Far from it. She was a hero who died for her country. She carried out her mission knowing full well what was going to happen. Self-sacrifice. Because that was her duty.
You are above even the boss. I hereby award you the title of Big Boss. You are a true patriot.
In the army. Someone like him to handle our top secret sneaking missions for us. A man who combines the qualities of a soldier and an agent.
The boss's defection was a ruse set up by the US government. It was all a big drama staged by Washington so they could get their hands on the philosopher's legacy. And the boss was the star of the show. They planned it so that they could get the legacy that Colonel Volgin inherited and destroy the Shagohod at the same time. Only a legendary hero like the boss could have earned Volgin's trust. Finding out where the philosopher's legacy was hidden was to be her greatest mission. Everything was going according to plan. But then something happened that no one could have predicted. Colonel Volgin fired an American-made nuclear warhead at Sokolov's research facility. Khrushchev demanded that the US government provide proof that it wasn't involved. They couldn't just abort the operation to steal the legacy. So the operation itself was greatly expanded and revised. The authorities in Washington knew that in order to prove its innocence, they'd have to get rid of the boss. And that one of their own would have to do the job. The public couldn't be allowed to find out about it. Not ever. This, they concluded, would be the best way to keep the whole thing under wraps. The boss wouldn't be allowed to come back home alive. And she wouldn't be allowed to kill herself. Her life would be ended by her most beloved disciple. That was the way the government wanted it. That was the mission she was given. And she had no choice but to carry it out. Her death at your hands was was a duty she had to fulfill. Out of duty, she turned her back on her own comrades. A lesser woman would have been crushed by such a burden. The taint of disgrace will follow her to her grave. Future generations will revile her. In America as a despicable traitor with no sense of honor. And in Russia as a monster who unleashed a nuclear catastrophe. She will go down in official history as a war criminal. And no one will ever understand her. That was her final mission. And like a true soldier, she saw it through to the end. But I think she wanted you, of all people, to know the truth. She wanted to live on in your memory. Not as a soldier, but as a woman. But she was forbidden to tell you herself. And that's why she told me. Snake, history will never know what she did. No one will ever learn the truth. Her story, her debriefing, will endure only in your heart. Everything she did for her country. She sacrificed her life and her honor for her native land. She was a real hero. She was a true patriot.
Einfach bahnbrechend, Leute. Einfach bahnbrechend. Mir fehlen einfach die Worte. Wir haben gerade so eine verrückte Wahrheit jetzt erfahren, dass mir jetzt einfach die Worte fehlen, das Ganze zu beschreiben. Das ist so bahnbrechend und einfach so... Wie gesagt, ich kann das einfach mit meinen Worten nicht beschreiben. Die ganze Operation, also quasi, war ein Deckmantel der US-Regierung, um der Boss zu eliminieren, sozusagen, nenne ich jetzt mal. Eva war nicht für KGB zuständig oder nicht für NSA, sondern sie war eine chinesische Agentin, die sich da reingeschleicht hat und sich wie ein KGB-Agent ausgestellt hat und sich wie ein Helfer der US-Regierung auch ausgestellt hat, sozusagen. Der Boss, der war auch die ganze Zeit auf der Seite der US-Regierung, aber da sind so viele Wendungen passiert, dass ich jetzt einfach nicht so viel darüber jetzt einfach sagen kann. Also es ist auf jeden Fall richtig genial. Und leider hatten wir auch keine andere Wahl, es bewusst zu erledigen. Denn hätten wir das nicht getan, dann hätten sie uns wahrscheinlich als Verräter angesehen und die hätten dann uns höchstwahrscheinlich auch eliminiert. Aber der Boss wusste, worauf sie da laufen werden. Sie wusste es alles. Sie wusste, dass dieses Opfer gebracht werden muss, um das Ganze jetzt weiterzugehen. Sie hat selber gesagt, einer muss leben, einer muss sterben, einer behält den Titel The Boss, das ganze Werk weiter zu machen. Und Snake hat jetzt diesen Titel an sich genommen. Jetzt ist er offiziell nicht nur als Boss, sondern als Big Boss bekannt. Aber sei es drum. Was kann ich zu dem Spiel sagen? Es ist eines der besten Spiele, die jemals gemacht wurden. Ich weiß, viele werden gleich sagen, hey, was laberst du da, das ist doch nicht eines der besten Spiele aller Zeiten, das soll ein anderes sein, ist mir auch egal. Ich finde, dieses Spiel verdient ihren Platz als eines der besten Spiele der gesamten Videospielsaga. Seit es die Videospiele gibt, verdient dieses Spiel auf jeden Fall einen Platz bei diesem Hall of Fame. Weil dieses Spiel steht nicht einfach darum, jetzt rumzugeiern und zu töten und so weiter und so fort. Es geht auch darum, die Story zu verstehen, auch mitzufühlen, was da passiert, und auch ein gewisses Selbstgefühl auch zu haben, um auch alles zu verstehen, was hier gemeint wird, welche Botschaft hier jetzt gemeint wird, was Videospiele uns sagen. Das ist das Wichtigste. Es geht jetzt nicht nur darum, hier, ich balle den, die haben Experience und so weiter. Es geht auch darum, dass man dieses Spiel auch durchlebt. Dass man das wie ein zweites Leben sozusagen ist. Und das finde ich an diesen Metal Gear Solid Spielen von Hideo Kojima richtig genial. Denn das ist nicht nur ein Spiel, sondern das ist ein... Ja, ich weiß, das klingt jetzt ein bisschen übertrieben, das ist sozusagen ein zweites Leben, das man jetzt virtuell spielt und sozusagen eine alternative Zeitlinie anschaut. Das finde ich richtig genial gemacht. Die Action-Passagen sehen gut aus, die Stealth-Passagen sehen gut aus, die ganze Kameraführung und wie das inszeniert wurde und so weiter und so fort. Das ist alles richtig genial. Also gut, Hideo Kojima ist ein Meister bei diesem Punkt. Und ich kann euch auf jeden Fall sagen, Leute, sei es ein erfahrener oder fortgeschrittener Metal Gear Solid oder sei es, dass du jetzt ein Neuling bist bei diesem Metal Gear Solid Spiel, vertrau mir, hol dir dieses Spiel. Hol dir auch die anderen Teile und spiel die auf jeden Fall. Vertrau mir, du wirst dann nichts jetzt sagen, das ist richtig langweilig. Vertrau mir, das musst du selbst erleben. Und vertrau mir, ich glaube, da wirst du auch nicht enttäuscht sein, was da passiert. Das kann ich dir garantieren. Wage diesen Versuch und du wirst es nicht bereuen. Allgemein gebe ich dem Spiel 1+. Wie gesagt, es ist eines der besten Spiele aller Zeiten. Es hat diesen Platz auf jeden Fall verdient und ich bin mir sicher, in der Zukunft und in weiteren 30, 40 Jahren wird dieses Spiel noch weiter gespielt, damit die zukünftigen Gamer auch verstehen, dass das ein Meisterwerk ist. Das muss jeder Gamer durchspielen. An dieser Stelle möchte ich euch allen Zuschauern und allen Abonnenten danken, die mich bei diesem Let's Play Projekt jetzt begleitet haben. Ich möchte auch auf jeden Fall Hideo Kojima und seinem ganzen Team dafür bedanken, dass sie an diesem Spiel gearbeitet haben. Und ich würde mal sagen, ich ich bin an dieser Stelle dem Let's Play-Projekt Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater. Vielen Dank fürs Zuschauen. Und wir sehen uns dann beim nächsten Projekt von Metal Gear Solid 3. Bis dann und schönen Tag noch.
Yes, Grozny Grad and the Granin Research Facility have both been wiped out without a trace. I understand, sir, but they were necessary sacrifices. Yes, the CIA has taken care of the boss themselves. I believe the White House will be satisfied. Khrushchev is finished. Your time has finally arrived. Yes, the American president is relying on us to keep a lid on the whole affair. We've got him by the balls. It should make a valuable trump card in future negotiations. Yes, Chief Director, of course. I'll keep the KGB informed. Yes, it's me. The boss has accomplished her mission. The philosopher's legacy is now safely with us, in America's hands. With this money, yes, the philosophers can finally be revived. The film we handed the Chinese was a fake. Peking must be in an uproar right about now. I'm afraid so. Only half the money has made it back to the United States. The KGB must still have part of the legacy. Yes, the weapon has been reduced to ashes. That's right. Grozny Grad has been obliterated by the Davy Crockett we brought in as well. Yes, that was the boss's work too. Speaking of which, I've obtained something from Granin that you might find interesting. It's a revolutionary new nuclear attack system. Perhaps it might just come in handy someday. Yes, we have Snake to thank for that. Khrushchev believed it as well. Yes, they bought our story. I don't think they'll be making a fuss. The secondary alert has been lifted as well. And the Soviets still haven't discovered my true identity. They have no idea that I've been triple-crossing them. I will continue my activities as a contact for the new government. Yes, it appears that no one knew that I was Adam. Of course, I'm always at the CIA's disposal, Mr. Director.